All right, got to admit that this video almost seems like it should have come before the last video, but hopefully this will be an easier SWYK for you. Anyway, we're looking at something that has, it's already isolated, so that's even easier, and so we split it up into the two inequalities. You know, the first one obviously is greater than 13, and the other one is less than negative 13. You switch the sign, not only the inequality symbol, but also the sign on the opposite side. Well, if you subtract 16 on both of these, you get x is greater than negative 3, and x is less than negative 29. Now, because we're using a greater than symbol, right, that's where we get the word or. So which one of these choices should I be looking at over here? It is an or, so we want x is greater than negative 3, x is less than negative 29. Okay? Now, move on to the next one. I'm sorry, what am I thinking? I didn't even graph it, for crying out loud. Okay, so we want open circle. Come on, click on that. Open circle going left, and this one's open circle going right. Okay, and I think that's the one right there. Open circle on negative 29 going left, and open circle on negative 3 going right. Yep, that's the one. Okay, now I can go to the next question. It's also isolated, which makes it a lot easier than the other ones, so we can split it into. We do have another greater than symbol, so we're using the word or. And so we split it up with one being just like the original and the other one being less than or equal to 12, the opposite of negative 12. Anyway, so we split this thing up, right? And we start solving. When we subtract 4, we get 2x is greater than, and then we can divide by 2, and we end up with x is greater than or equal to negative 8. Of course, that's going to be a closed circle on negative 8 and an arrow to the right. Oh, by the way, just as a word, if the letter is on the left side, then the symbol points in the direction of the arrow. Yep, that's a helpful hint. Probably should have mentioned that before. So same thing down here. We're subtracting 4, we're dividing by 2, and we get, this time we get x is less than or equal to positive 4. So once again, we're using the word or, and that would be letter A, x is less than or equal to 4, or greater than or equal to negative 8. Okay? So that would be letter choice A. Which graph looks like that? Since they go in opposite directions, and we're talking about everything, not just what, they don't have anything in common anyway, but now if this were an and situation, then the answer would have been letter D. The graph contains no points because there wouldn't be anything in common. Okay, so on question 3, you'll notice that I've changed it. I've changed it to an and situation by reversing the symbol, making it a less than. Once again, we're still isolated, so we can then split it apart, one being less than 8, just like the original, and one being greater than negative 8. Okay, so let's see here. I don't feel like I'm looking straight at you. It's kind of weird because I'm always looking at the screen and not at the camera. So yeah, I don't know. Bizarre. So if I subtract 1 from both sides, right, we're taking away 1. We end up with negative 6x is less than 7. So if we take away negative, if we divide by negative 6, we get x is less than negative 7/6. Okay, of course, that's going to be an open circle, and it's going to go left. And then, of course, we have the next one. We subtract 1 from both sides, subtract 1 from both sides, and we get negative 6x is greater than negative 9. If we divide by negative 6, we get x is greater than, I'm pretty sure most of you would change that to 1.5. I know it's the same thing as 3/2. If you're a fraction fan out there in the world. We are using the word and, which means we're looking for where they overlap. I think it would be better for you to look at the graph first. Where do they overlap? You know, we've got negative 7/6 over here, and we got positive 1.5 or 3/2 here. Wait a doggone second. What's wrong with this picture? Let me back the truck up. I feel like. Let me pause for station identification. This is the All Algebra 2 Network. Okay, sports fans, did you find my mistake? I'm going to leave mistakes in my videos because I want you to realize that people make mistakes, especially when they're trying to do things too fast and they're not paying attention. I'm hoping that you see and remember that when you divide by a negative number, what happens to the sign? It flips, Mr. Staley. Why didn't you flip the sign? I don't know. It was a really bad moment right there. Yeah, because when you divide by a negative number, the sign flips on these inequalities. Now that makes a whole lot more sense. We got an open circle on negative 7/6 and it's going this way because we want greater than that. We've got an open circle. Did I not? I didn't even flip the sign. I said I was flipping the sign and then I didn't flip the sign. Oh my goodness. You know, it's a bad day. I'm going to have to sing a sad song to turn it around. Okay, 1.5, and we want less than that. Okay, now the question is, we're talking about and. That means we want to know where they overlap. So the reality is the graph helps me out quite a bit. I want everything from negative 7/6, which is just a little bit past negative 1 for those of you wondering. It's like negative 1.17-ish. Okay? And all the way up to 1.5. So the correct answer is right down here, graph D. Now, I'm going to use that to write the answer to the previous part up above. So that graph kind of shows you that we're going to use letter A. I might want to shrink this down just a little bit. We're going to use the inequality negative 7/6 all the way to 1.5. All right, so let me write that out. Negative 7/6 is less than x, which is less than 1.5. The only type that can be written as a compound inequality is the one with the word and. And you are going to have to use that when you're in the Math Excel to answer that question. So if it's an and, you're going to be looking for one of these type of solutions. They don't use the word and in between, even though I think they probably should get you used to using that. Anyway, I think that's enough for today. Thank you.